The final years of Finland's F-A-18C and F-A-18D Hornet fleet mark the end of an era that shaped the country's air power for nearly 3 decades. As Finland enters 2025 as a full member of NATO and prepares to transition to the F-35A Lightning II, the Hornet force remains both a frontline shield and a legacy system nearing the limits of its airframe life. Its last flights are not merely a technical milestone, they represent a strategic turning point for Northern Europe. The twilight of the Hornet era highlights how Finland adapts its defense posture to a rapidly changing security environment along the longest direct border with Russia in the alliance. Finland's Hornet fleet, introduced between 1995 and 2000, remains operationally capable, thanks to 2 major modernization programs known as Midlife Upgrade 1 and Midlife Upgrade 2. These upgrades replaced aging avionics, improved radar, and communication systems such as Link 16, and integrated modern precision-guided munitions. Even though the airframes have logged years of intensive service in harsh northern climates, the aircraft maintain a relatively high readiness rate, estimated around 70 to 75%. This allows them to continue conducting quick reaction alert duties, air policing missions, and daily deterrence patrols over the Baltic approaches and the vast Arctic frontier. Yet by 2025, the structural realities of the fleet are clear. Many Hornets are reaching or have exceeded their designed service life in flight hours. The AN/APG-73 radar, though modernized, is increasingly limited in an era of advanced electronic warfare and long-range sensing. The F-404 engines remain reliable, but require more frequent maintenance cycles. These pressures mean the Hornet force is being stretched at the same time Finland's strategic demands are growing. The country's new role inside NATO requires greater interoperability, more deployments outside national borders, and the ability to support allies under collective defense obligations. The phase-out of the Hornet fleet is therefore a carefully sequenced transition. Finland's timeline extends from 2025 to approximately 2030, overlapping with the delivery of 64 F-35A aircraft selected under the HX fighter program. Early retirements will focus on airframes with the highest fatigue levels. As F-35 numbers grow, Hornets will slowly shift away from frontline roles, concentrating on training and domestic air policing. This is designed to prevent a capability gap at a moment when Baltic tensions, Arctic activity, and Russian Air Force behavior remain unpredictable. Operational continuity is essential, especially during the years when Finland will operate a mixed fleet of older 4th-generation jets and advanced 5th-generation aircraft. The legacy Hornets still play a vital role in Finland's integration into NATO's air defense network. In 2024, Finland deployed 7 F-A-18s to Romania for the Alliance's air shielding mission, its first major air power contribution since joining NATO. This deployment demonstrated that despite their age, the Hornets remain credible multi-role fighters. They serve as a bridge between Finland's long tradition of independent defense planning and the new multinational environment of joint operations and shared situational awareness. The aircraft will continue to participate in Nordic and Baltic training events, allowing Finnish pilots to refine tactics alongside Norwegian, Swedish, and Danish counterparts as the region coordinates more closely under NORDEFCO and NATO frameworks. Even so, maintaining the Hornet force through the second half of the decade involves clear risks. If a major regional crisis erupted before a critical mass of F-35s entered service, Finland might find itself relying heavily on aging fourth-generation fighters against advanced systems deployed by Russia. Electronic warfare, long-range surface-to-air threats, and modern air-to-air missile ranges all favor aircraft designed with stealth and sensor fusion in mind. While the Hornet remains capable, in many mission sets, it cannot match the survivability and situational dominance of the F-35. These concerns have driven Finland to invest heavily in ground-based radar networks, resilient communications, and drone-enabled reconnaissance to provide additional layers of defense during the transition period. The question of what will happen to the retired Hornets has drawn considerable attention. Some have speculated about transferring them to Ukraine, but this is unlikely. The airframes are too worn, the upgrade packages include sensitive subsystems, and the infrastructure required to support them is complex. More realistically, many aircraft will be used for spare parts, training aids, or museum exhibits. The true legacy of the Hornet lies not in resale value, but in the decades of operational knowledge it gave Finnish pilots and technicians. Experience gained from flying high-tempo sorties in extreme Arctic conditions is directly relevant to operating the F-35, particularly as Finland aims to become a key contributor to NATO's northern air surveillance and early warning missions. This transition carries broader implications for Northern Europe's security architecture. Finland's shift to a fifth-generation fleet strengthens NATO's northern air corridor, connecting the Baltic region with Norway's F-35 bases and Sweden's forthcoming induction of the same aircraft type. A trilateral F-35 network across the Nordic region creates a dense web of sensors, fusion nodes, and stealth platforms stretching from the North Sea to the Arctic Circle. This is expected to complicate both Russian air operations and long-range missile planning. It also integrates Finland deeply into NATO's emerging air battle management ecosystem, where data sharing and fused situational awareness are as important as the aircraft themselves. While the Hornet era draws to a close, its symbolic weight remains significant. The aircraft protected Finnish airspace during a period of geopolitical calm, and it now oversees a moment of renewed tension and strategic volatility. It carried Finland from a policy of military non-alignment to the doorstep of collective defense. The final years of the Hornet fleet illustrate how even a small nation can maintain a technologically sophisticated air force, sustain high readiness in extreme climates, and execute a long-term transition plan in a challenging security environment. As the first F-35s arrive and the Hornets begin their stepwise retirement, Finland's air defense enters a new phase defined by stealth, multi-domain integration, and alliance interoperability. But the last flights of the Hornet carry a deeper message. Deterrence is not built overnight. It is forged across decades through disciplined planning, continuous investment, and the operational grit of platforms like the A-18 that defended Finland in both tranquil and turbulent times.